and natural language questions answering the same. And this year, 3D scanners, this part, it's the plateau of productivity in 1 year, from here to this part. And if you are a library, you have to decide, can we do something with 3D scanners, yes or no? Where can it be important for services and so on? But the natural language questions answering, it's really at the same position like last year. What? Yes?
So it's impossible to stay at the peak. You're always expecting the inevitable fall. Every year of technology. Is there any way for someone to remain at the peak for more than 1 year?
No, normally not. It could be that it's never that it comes here to the through of disillusionment, and or possibly, yeah, you can't. You have to do research about the reasons what is going on in this technology.
Maybe you should organize a team that keeps up with the technology breakthroughs and stuff like that, so that you could remain as long as possible on the top.
Yeah, but what's impossible, you always have to look on every year what are the next technologies possibly important for the library. If you look at Google Glasses or something like that.
May I add something on that? It's impossible to stay at the peak because technology is something that requires money. And secondly, it requires testing through time. We're talking about technology, which means that when something is created, it needs time, so you can find the mistakes, what can be fixed, and
yeah, that's this part.
Yes, you need time to understand what it is created through technology. This is why it's impossible to stay in the peak.
Yeah, but you have to observe these technologies.
Yes, you have to observe them.
All of them. And to have a look what's about the data science. You see here data science or human augmentation. I think it could be very important.
You have to observe, but you...
Not at the moment, but you have to observe and then to decide for the point, at which point your library will use
can implement this technology
for services and so on. Yeah. But if you don't do this, if you don't observe these technologies, possibly you are too late. You are late in the libraries.
I don't disagree about observing the technology, the world of technology, but once an innovation is presented in the technological world, you don't have to do it immediately. You have to see it, how it will go through time.
It depends on the library. If you are a very big, innovative library, possibly a national library, or we have some state libraries in Germany, they start with innovation in this part because they say we are the first and we are the best in Germany and we must be innovative all the time, and they start with services if some new technologies are growing up in this part of phase of innovation trigger. And if you are a small public library, possibly you'll start with an innovation in this part. That's okay. Because normally you are a adopter of technologies, but if you say we are the first library in Germany or in Greek who has some services using emerging technologies, you must all in this part. You must be active in this part and not in this or later. But you have to decide it. And not, oh, everybody has services with 3D scanner, and but not you. Yes, possibly you heard about the Horizon report, the library edition, I hope so. And you have some headlines about the trends. Increasing focus on research data management for publications of mobile content and delivery, increasing accessibility of research content, electronic publishing, and so on, citation technologies. And these are only 2 examples for market observation, competitive intelligence. All librarians need to be innovative for the next years. Yes, the problem of all these innovations is that you, as a librarian, must have the good ideas for the innovations in your library. So, I already said, you have on one side the need information, the information about the market, for these trend reports and so on, and the customer wishes, the customer needs, possibly by surveys in your library, or bigger surveys from institutions. You have a lot to do of interviews and so on. But the library needs the solution information. How to implement these wishes. And you suddenly found out this by questionnaires. That's a typical closed innovation process. You have this funnel and with possibly a lot of ideas. But you have here the red line, the boundary of the firm or the library and so on. So everything is done inside your institution. The research, the development, and then the market. And that's a problem if you don't have enough good ideas. That's a typical mistake, technology push versus market pull. Wait, I have this great technology, and on the other side the customer, yeah, but it doesn't meet our needs. So, Chesbrough defines the open innovation process as a paradigm that assumes that firms can and should use external ideas as well as internal ideas and internal and external paths to market as the firms look to advance their technology. So open innovation combines the internal and the external ideas into architectures and systems whose requirements are defined by a business. So that's a combination of your internal and your external ideas. And 3 years later, Chesbrough had an extension of his own definition. He said, is the use of purposive inflows and outflows of knowledge to accelerate internal innovation and expand the market for external use of innovation. So not only for ideas, it's everything about the inflow and outflow of knowledge. And that's a new model. So you have a lot of ideas from outside and possibly an outflow to new markets, possibly used by other companies or other institutions. If you have cooperation with museums or something like that, they can use some of your developments. And so everything is open. But who has the good ideas? A lot of customers have the good ideas. And the estimation is that 10 to 40% of all customers are ready to participate active in innovation process if they are asked. That's a lot. Possibly if you are a university with 10,000 students, and then you have 10% of the students who are active in the innovation process of your library, you have 1,000 students to be active in an innovation process. That's fantastic. And you have possibly 20 or 30 librarians in your university library. Then you have possibly 1,000 ideas and not only 10 or 20 ideas. So, it should be interesting that libraries use the open innovation as a strategic instrument. What are the main differences? Closed innovation principles, open innovation. The smart people in the field work for us. Closed innovation. Open innovation, not all the smart people in the field work for us. We need to work with smart people inside and outside the company. We will discover it ourselves. We will get it into the market first. We don't have to originate the research to profit from it. And so on. There are a lot of differences and a lot of advantages for it. Some successful innovative projects. One of the first of open innovation was from Swarovski, and on the internet they have a toolkit to create new things. They say create new ring or something like that. And you have all these toolkits, a lot of these stones and so on. You can combine it to some new models in these. Very successful Lego digital designer, and you have a platform, and they ask you can build the best model view, and sometimes you get a prize, or it will be transformed to produced by Lego if you have the best model of it. But it's also useful for nearly, I think, every company like Procter & Gamble. They have a platform, Connect and Develop. And a lot of ideas came from customers, small enterprises and so on. They have a circular partnership with a lot of persons and so on. And sorry. I think Procter & Gamble said nearly 30% of the ideas in the meantime come from outside, not from the own research and development. That's a lot. So, open innovation and knowledge management. It's a very interesting combination about this. Hansford said open innovation is about knowledge exchange, everything else is secondary. Open innovation means you give knowledge to the company gives knowledge to other companies, enterprises, and so on. If you look at the strategic knowledge framework of their own organization on the competitors, you have here innovator, leader, viable competitor, laggard, and at risk. If you have innovative knowledge, you are the innovator. If you don't have it, possibly, but your competitor, you are at risk. If you have advantage knowledge, you are a leader. If you don't have it, you are possibly a laggard. And normally the libraries must be in this part: the viable competitor, leader, or innovation. But most of them, or many of them, are laggards, and a lot of them are at risk. That's the problem. And that's the problem, that first you have two gaps. That's the knowledge gap and then the strategic gap. What the library must know and what the library knows. That's the knowledge gap. And on the other side, what firm can do and what firm must do. I think we have to close the window here. Yeah. And possibly you have a problem between the knowledge gap and the strategic gap. Knowledge gap, the first problem, then strategic gap, the second. A lot of libraries don't have strategies in their management for the next 3 or 5 years. But they need it to be innovator or a leader. And you must have the knowledge about it, like about the Gartner hype cycle, other trend reports, and so on. And then you can transform it in your strategy. The knowledge dimension, Procter & Gamble. I think I need. Procter & Gamble, they say, for a company famed for its ability to continuously offer products that match customers' most current needs, Procter & Gamble takes pride in the success of its innovation process. Mike Edison describes the essential role knowledge management plays in P&G's open innovation strategy that looks internally and externally for new ideas and opportunities. They say the percentage of new P&G products that include elements developed outside of the firm has increased to over 35%. But libraries normally don't use open innovation. Like you had all, they say, you need a great team of people with diverse skills to perform a symphony well, but not a team has ever written a great symphony. And I think that's the principle of this open innovation. The problem are the human resource capacities in libraries. They have a large number of customers and partners from all sectors and branches. They have in university all the researchers with knowledge in different technologies. If you're a public library, you have a lot of people with the potential to become and to be and to engage in collaborative, innovative projects and to share knowledge. And therefore they can a knowledge and innovation creator for your library. I think you'll get the presentation afterwards and can have a look to this sheet. What's necessary too for if you are or want to be innovative? On the one side you have the culture for innovativeness and the environment, and on the other side you have the education and training. And this is the ability to innovation. You need the education and training for all the years, the formal, informal, personal exploration, new connections, new intersections, and so on, to be innovative. And if you look at this blue part, this is typical for many libraries. I don't have time, it's not my job, I don't know how, that's too technical, I don't see how this applies, and so on. And the innovation part in this is, wouldn't it be cool if, let me play with the wine, I just heard about it, let's create a prototype, let's see how the customers will use it, and so on. That's the strategy and the culture of innovativeness. And yes, the continuous innovation process is, you are here, and what's the next thing? You must start with the next innovation. You can't stop. Crowdsourcing, possibly you have heard about it. Share your ideas. That's a part of open innovation. That's the old type of share your ideas. Modern kind of crowdsourcing, typical example is Starbucks. Share your ideas, tell us what you think to other people's idea and join the discussion. And I think it was from 2 weeks ago, the number of ideas at the Starbucks platform. More than 43,000 product ideas about coffee and espresso drinks. More than 21,000 about food. More than 22,000 about the Starbucks card. 5,000 about new technology. More than 30,500 to other product ideas. Experience ideas to ordering, payment, atmosphere, location, and so on and so on. And one of the most successful crowdsourcing idea was give away used coffee grounds for gardeners to compost. They do it worldwide. It was one idea of a customer, and it was very, very successful. So, what happens in this crowdsourcing?
Maybe possibly the manager or the team that applies in a company in the innovation circle, maybe, I don't know
Yeah?
if I'm correct, has new ideas. New ideas keep coming in, not with less effort, maybe.
What changes? Yes, that's right. Normally you have to do your market research in another way, in a classical way. to ask for the wishes. And now the customer tell you all their wishes. The customers do the market research for Starbucks.
It's basically, from what I've understood so far, a brainstorming session between the people of the people who work there and the people and the customers.
Okay, yeah.
Brainstorming of ideas, and then those ideas are analyzed by the company, and they are implemented.
Yeah, that's right. They have a lot of ideas, and you have, you see, he has this idea, that's nice, and then if you have a strategy as a company, and you can decide what to implement and what's not.
And the important thing about crowdsourcing is that those are ideas that you might haven't even thought about it. You might have never heard of them by yourself, and by giving your customers the word, yeah, you get a chance to see some stuff, something that you wouldn't expect anyway.
And I think everybody of you has sometimes good ideas at home, at leisure time, and so on. And why not to tell us?
That's maybe the only way to get a picture of what society thinks about you and your company. Ask the society around you, the people who come to your company to apply either for coffee or for books, in the case of libraries. What could you do so that you could, as a company, approach the needs and the wishes and the needs, actually, yeah, of the people around you? That's, I personally believe that's the only way. You can actually see in a global scale about the technologies, issues, and stuff like that, but you also have to appeal to the society around you.
That's right. You need platforms and so on where they can meet. If you look, you have this Starbucks platform. That's a company platform for this, where the people can meet virtually or in this in a Starbucks coffee, and you can tell them what you think about other ideas. You can vote and so on. So you are building up a community. And there are some independent platforms where possibly you as a library can ask for something. I want to build a new library.
Tell us what you think.
And what are the best services or something like that for it? What do they need in technology and technical equipment or something like that? One colleague said thousands of libraries in Germany are run by just one librarian. Here we have a single person doing all the work that is normally shared between several people in larger libraries. The one-person librarian requires a very wide range of skills in order to be able to do the job successfully. And I think that's not only typical for a one-person library, it's typical for many mid-sized public libraries and so on. And if you have a crowd, if you have your customers or other people from outside, it's easier for you to implement or to get the ideas for implementation of innovations. Okay, so the library professional takes individuals of varying ages, varying degrees of experience, and a range of technology capabilities, all of which influence the way they perceive new information and communication technology. And it's the role of librarians to introduce new technologies to library users. And if you combine these two aspects, I think it's the best way to be successful with your innovations. There are a lot of advantages sharing knowledge in the sense of open innovation, because normally you say it's mine, it's only mine. First, using the experience and the knowledge of customers, that's the first. To talk with them, to integrate them. But it's to increase market acceptance of new products and services. So you have possibly more than 2.5% of innovators. Possibly you have some more, because they had this idea, they shared this idea with you and say, oh, that's fantastic. And if it's realized, say, okay, I use it. Improving the image, very important. We talked about it at the beginning of this lesson. More personalized services, early awareness of new market trends. If you are specialized in some other topics and trends, you can share them with this, and they can have an increased consumption of the entire range of services. Possibly an increased customer loyalty, a reduction of development costs, because you get all these ideas from your customers or persons from outside, and reduction of acquisition costs and marketing costs, because your customers are the best marketers. But there are some risks. High coordination effort by the library, ignores knowledge of the external innovators possibly, the innovations of the external innovators based on their own benefit only, possibly a lack of involvement of the external innovators. It depends on the kind of involvement, lack of engagement of the external innovators. Not every library is Starbucks. And the lack of project and time management of the external innovators. If you say, we need these ideas within 4 weeks, is it possible to get these ideas? Loss of know-how, for example, to competitors, I think that's not so important for libraries, but for companies. See if you have patents and other IP management, then it could be very important. The conclusion is modern innovation and knowledge requires integrated structures in the sense of open innovation. And then you have social community network structures, and it became more and more easy. More and more people are in these social communities very active. And you need the cooperation and the integration of internal partners. Then you have the chance of more customized innovations in future. Possibly, otherwise you run the risk developing innovations not wanted and not used by your customers, because it's your idea, the idea of the librarian, and not the idea and the wishes of some of the customer. Some minutes about my own survey about the open innovation 4 years ago, and I think that's the situation till now about innovation in Germany, and I think in most of the countries worldwide. Survey about more than 30 institutions were interviewed by in Germany, libraries and information centers, all library directors, or the head of the institutions, and it was an expert interview, and one part was about the open innovation. First one, do you know, first question, do you know the term open innovation? And you see, most of them know, and I think only vague idea, they didn't heard about it. Only a few said yes. no clear idea, but they heard about it. That's a problem. That's a big trend, and I think today every library has to know something about this open innovation. What were the associations of this term, open innovation? Meeting with customers, opening to the outside, that was okay. Change of innovation process, open access, open process, focus groups, okay. What motives have customers to play a part in innovation? Most of them say own dissatisfaction with the current range of services, intrinsic motivation, social motivation, obtaining personal benefits through implementation and the use of innovation, and extrinsic in libraries was clear, it's only few. Most of them said own dissatisfaction with the current range of services. What does it mean? They said many of our customers
Don't like.
are not satisfied with all these services we have. It's a little bit strange. Yes.
Could this be a risky strategy, marketing strategy, so that you could get more ideas about what you should do? For example, in a society that not many people are don't really want to give you their ideas. They maybe don't know. Could it be a strategy to lower the services you give so that you make people actually tell you their ideas?
No.
Because here in Greece you don't easily get people.
I think if you get them more and more, it should be better. It's
You
not
should discomfort some people here in Greece so that they could help you.